Yeah, but the way that the human mind works is, again, if you can change that by making that one choice a day at a time. Each day that you are intentional about trying to figure it out or getting out of that habit, because that's essentially what it is being content with that space that you're in. When I used to do when I used to do personal training, one thing that I learned very early on with working with different clients is that the only way that you're going to lose this weight, the only way that you're going to put on this muscle is if you figure out what your why is in doing that. If you don't have a why, you don't have a reason as to why you're doing this, where you're being intentional about it, then you're not gonna do it. That thing isn't going to click and shift over. You have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired in order to make that decision and make that choice to do something different. And that of course looks different for every person. But the truth of the matter is that is you making the choice to either listen to this information that's being placed right in front of you. I'm sure all nine of us on this panel, we have been told something at an early age that um, we either held on to or we dismissed it. And whatever that information was at that time that you heard it, if you used it or dismissed it, you then realize why that person told you that.
And I understand everything you're saying. I'm just saying that some people chemicals are in balance. I mean, I personally know someone that their significant other is best if they take medication. I'm not saying it, but they are operating on a different frequency without it. Like, I don't understand it because I've never dealt with it. But if you're talking to logical people that can comprehend what you're saying, it makes perfect sense. Like, your messaging is going to work for a lot of people. I'm just saying, don't be surprised when you have it might be a small percent. I don't have the data, the facts in front of me, that they're not going to get it. You just have to recognize that.
Yeah, for
That's all
sure.
I'm saying. So I'm not saying to stop preaching what you're saying, because if, again, I like to operate on this spectrum. Like, I got the median and the pro side and the con side. The pro side is to preach what you're saying. But I think just having that knowledge, having that in your tool belt and your arsenal to understand that you may come across somebody like this and you're trying to figure out why it don't click, it may be something wrong with them.
So we just sit there and watch an example of choosing what a red flag was, right? What this dude did was a red flag. But some people will sit there and think, oh, that's manly, that's tough. That's the thing to do. Yeah, it's all good until that shit turns on you. I didn't see the red flags. Bullshit. You see how violent he was. You see how he acted and carried on in a way like that, instead of maybe, okay, you know how I can get this man back? If I really want to get him back, by causing him to lose his job and his freedom, that would hurt him more than me choking him out. That's a temporary thing. But I take his job, I take his career, and I ruin him. That's going to last him a lifetime. He may never get another job dealing with children. He may have to be a Walmart greeter or a stockroom clerk for Home Depot or something, because I'm going to ruin this man like that. But no, they thought, oh, no, that's sexy. That makes my kitty cat wet. That's why you're so foolish. That's why you start needing to listen to your goddamn daddy, like my man Real Dope said. They don't listen to anybody. Oh, I know what I want. You're right. You shouldn't be getting what you want. You should be getting what you need.
Hey, can we also? I want to take a second and highlight the fact too that we just can't forget that a lot of the abuse that women claim is abuse is just them losing a fucking fight that they probably started, they insinuated. And I know it's a lot of those women in the comments that are trauma bonding right now because they think that, oh, they were beat by a man. Well, this is the problem. When you talk to a man like a man and then you challenge him like a man, he put his hands on you. What the fuck did you expect? A lot of men these days don't believe that they should never hit a woman, because if you hit me, I'm hitting your ass back. And I think more men should be that way. But a lot of these folks act like they were abused because a man put their hands on them. Like, for example, y'all swore Rihanna was a fucking abuse victim until you got the other side of the story. That white chick that Joe Mixon knocked out for hitting him. The shit that happened with Jonathan Majors. A lot of these abuse cases that y'all like to cite or identify with are not, they're not women being abused. They're women losing fucking fights that they started and then trying to call it abuse because it was a man that they lost a fight to. And I would say that probably happens more often than a dude just deciding for all because he had a hard day at work and he's saying somebody at the construction site stepped on his toe, then him just going home and, you know what, I think I want to put Shanice's head between a washer and dryer. I don't think that happens very often as compared to the other side.
So I would say this, what Real Dope Daddy said, that's why we should listen to our fathers, but we got to understand these fathers are raising these boys too. So
Yeah, no, that's
end of the day,
I have a question.
that's
at
fair.
the end of the day,
Why do y'all think men
wait
get
a
women?
minute. Let me get my statement across, please. So at the end of the day, I believe what JR said was very accurate. Some people are just, common sense ain't coming no more. You can have the greatest upbringing, you can have the greatest parents. If your character, if you decide to be that person, that's just who you are. And we have to understand when people show you who they are, believe them. So I disagree when you say we should listen to our daddies because our daddies raised these men too.
How does that not? How does that make it so that you shouldn't be listening to your son? Can grow up and do whatever he want to do, but if you still listen to your dad, you're gonna be good, even if his son go up and want to be addicted.
What about the fathers that raised these men that are still abusive?
Those are few and far between.
Yeah, that's not like a all the time thing, right? There's always going to be good people and bad people. Again, I think that it boils down to I feel like I do agree that common sense isn't common, but I feel like when we say that, the more that we say that, the more power from that we take, the more power we take away from it. So, i.e., for example, I have seen numerous times on Facebook where this person's mugshot, some dude will be locked up, his mugshot will be posted with all the charges that he has, and there's women in the comments. How much is his bond? Oh, he fine. Oh, I can change him. And there's women all throughout the comments that's sharing it, and it's like, what are you thinking? Even with Ted Bundy, Ted Bundy was locked up for unaliving women, and women are sending him love cards
and money,
love notes. So it's at what point do we say, okay, common sense may not be common, but at this point, you're willingly making a choice to be attracted to something that you know is dangerous, which doesn't make sense.
We just can't protect those women. Let them women get what happened to them. If you want to date a nigga that went to jail for beating up 30 bitches and you should and think you're not gonna be the 31st, that's what you get.